Right guys, I figured I'd post a little setup video for getting the new flybarless head set up correctly. This is my M120 with the newest revision head that I just got completed today. Get it zoomed in so we can see a little better. So what you'll see first off, I'm using the upper hole here. So you can see the pin placed in this upper hole, because I'm using the longer M120 shaft. There's a lower hole down below here that I put with the intention of those people who would like to use the V120 shaft, which is a little shorter. I've set this up that it should work with both. I haven't got a V120 shaft on me, however it's just a difference of millimeters in their length that's critical. So first thing I'll point out is that I've got screws holding on the follower. These screws here can be replaced with the screws from the feathering shaft if you don't like a flat head, but those are what I could find. They're machined screws and they're very nice compared to the Walkera ones, so I went ahead. However, the newer Walkera ones that come with the flybar with a hex head on them are very nice. They're just a little long. I've got the 9G motor in here. Extremely powerful. Over powerful actually, but might have to drop a tooth. Comes with the 16, and I've been stripping gears. But that's not what I'm here to show you now. So what I will show you is how to set this up properly, because I know a lot of people have comments. So first thing, I've got the 2801. Let me flip the strap out of the way. I'll turn it on and plug this in. Okay. So as it goes through its boot up sequence, right now when you're doing setup, make sure the balance delay switch, okay, which is the first one here, is off. So you'll notice down is on. I've got it up, and what that will do is, so the swash, as I move it, stays stationary. So the flybarless part, or the auto stabilization, is turned off at this point, and that'll help when we're doing the setup. I've got, and I'll show you here if this works. If I go into my curves, throttle curves, ignore that one for a second, I'm just fooling around. So in my normal, I've just got it set up for about 60%. The Walkera 20 amp speed controller that comes with it seems like 60% was the only way I could go to get a little less power. 90, 80, 70 did nothing. It seems that anything over 60 is pretty much 100. So I was just fooling around with that. More importantly, let me show you the pitch curves and explain something. So if we go to the hold curve, that's the first one that I'd like you guys to set up. Notice I've got a 0 to 100 hold curve. So this way, when I now flick throttle hold on, you'll notice that I'm at minus 12, or I'm at negative anyhow, if you look at the setup. And as I move the stick, okay, I'm getting my full range, minus to positive. And this is a lot better than going and disconnecting your motor every time you want to do a setup. So now that I've got throttle hold enabled, 0 to 100, that would be the same pitch curve that I'm going to use for my ST1 or ST2, my stunt modes. So if I place the stick now at 50%, okay, there we go at 50, and if we look at the heli, you'll notice I've got it centered on the shaft. The swash, that is. So you'll notice the swash if you take a look here, is centered up and down. Okay? The servo arms, you want to try and get them as close to 90 as possible. Now you'll notice the one on the left there is a little up, the one on the right is a little down. That's the best that I could get it, because you can't do independent servo adjustments with this 2616 receiver. And maybe in future revisions Walkera will fix that, but for now, with the one servo setting that you have to have your transmitter set up in, it's pretty much as good as I could get it. Now if we watch the range, okay, as I go up, you'll see it's moving pretty good. The elevator might be out a little bit up and down, but the flybarless system should correct for that. Okay, so if you look at the links in the follower, I've got it all set up and centered, so at both extremes you'll notice that it's even. So down and up, okay, it's not binding anywhere, it's not touching the threads. That's important. See if you can stay away from the threads of the links. Okay, there we go, nice and focused. So another thing is, notice at my extreme top pitch, I've still got room for cyclic movement, and it's not going to bind anywhere. And at the lower, I've still got room for cyclic movement as well. Specifically watch that the swash is not touching the collar when you do this. Okay? So this allows me to have my plus 12, minus 12, plus cyclic, and there's still a bit of room. I could probably get 14. Okay? But then what happens is, if you watch the link, okay, the swash we know was okay, but at full collective, and then I give it some aileron, okay, notice the link is almost coming up and touching the follower there. Okay, it's not, but the threads are going through, so you might have to watch that, make sure the threads don't bind in the follower. And you can sand the threads down with a bit of sandpaper if need be. Okay, now